Hi there and welcome back to Marathon-Crossfit, and today we're going to talk about the Stronglifts program for runners and whether it makes sense or not. So we will go into what is Stronglifts, what is a runner for this video and this purpose, and then why do Stronglifts as a runner, what is it for, why should you do it at all, off-season and furthest on-season for runners for doing Stronglifts 5x5, and then we wrap it all up in a conclusion. So that would be it for the intro, and let's jump right into it. So what is Stronglifts 5x5? Stronglifts 5x5 is a beginner's program for weightlifting, utilizing the squat, the bench press and the deadlift. So you will be training 3 times a week on this program, and it is especially designed for beginners. So the acceleration rate on this one in regards to the lifts and to the load lifted is a bit steeper than on intermediate lifting programs, but you are entering at a lower entry point with an empty bar, and that is why it's especially suitable for beginning lifters. So now, who are runners for the sake of this exercise and for the sake of this video? Runners are people who want to compete in a race like this one and want to improve their time. Now, that can be all kinds of people from all sorts of ways of life. I would subdivide that group in really elite runners, really competitive runners who make a living out of this, who run in a club and, who want to go to the Olympics or at least want to be, the best of the country, etc., etc. And the ones who are still racing, but who also have some kind of other life, going on and are not that professional about it. They still train hard, they want to get better, but they are not as competitive. Okay, so those are the 2 subdivisions. So again, runners for the sake of this video are people who want to compete and up their best on a certain distance. So why do Stronglifts as a runner at all, or why even consider strength training if you're a runner? Now, that is why I divided the 2 groups of runners earlier in the video, because for everybody who is doing running more or less as a hobby or not as a really professional full-time athlete, I usually find that the older they get and the later they enter into this whole world of running, the more likely it becomes that they get the shin splints, that they'll hurt themselves, that they, get all kinds of injuries around the hip or the knees, and that is where Stronglifts and weightlifting comes in. Because the stronger your body is, the more bulletproof it is basically, the less likely it will be that you will actually hurt yourself when something goes wrong or from the impact of the concrete. So that is why you should consider doing Stronglifts as a runner at all. For example, for me, I started running when I was 27. So yeah, kind of late, kind of early, depending on how you look at it. But I'm still injury-free from running. I did injure myself lifting a bit, but that is because I overdid it and had a very high focus in it. But when I was doing Stronglifts and I was doing my first marathon in parallel and preparing for that, I actually stayed injury-free. So that is why you should consider a bit of Stronglifts training or a bit of weightlifting for making yourself a bit less prone to injury. Now, why Stronglifts as a program? Stronglifts itself is very well structured. It's for beginners. It is only 3 times a week, not 4 times a week. So it can be fitted around an intermediate running program or maybe a beginner's running program. Of course, if you're an expert runner, you most likely will be running 5 to 7 days a week and you will have a lot of mileage. There just won't be the time to double about and to try out some weightlifting. So it all depends on where you stand. So Stronglifts for runners, do it when you are more of a hobby runner and you don't want to get injured and want to get all around fit like me. So to conclude this whole video and to wrap it all up, if you are a runner who is a hobby runner but still wants to up their personal best within reason, without getting completely obsessed and crazy about it, then I think Stronglifts 5x5 is a very, very good addition to your training regimen, because you can then do a split of 3 days running and 3 days in the lifting room with a well-structured program that will make you stronger and therefore also make you less prone to injury risk. At least that is what I think. I've tested it myself. It worked for me. Of course, I don't have the clinical studies of 1,000 people to prove all of that. But, again, I always like to cite common sense. Think about that. Of course, if you're in the group of runners that are preparing for a marathon, for a half marathon, and really just want to focus and knuckle down on their personal best, or to get the distance done at all, depending on that, then focus on the running and getting the mileage in. Because if you're on a proper marathon program, that will take up about 5 to 6 days of your week. And also you will have a long run in there that will be about 2 to 3 hours on the weekend. So then you're not really up for doing Stronglifts 5x5. Been there, done that. So if you like the content, please subscribe, tell your friends, share, and thanks for watching, and come back again. Bye bye.